Hello, my name is Lisa Johnson from SquareOne Training. Welcome to this session where I talk about Excel and dates and how to format them and group dates together in a pivot table. First of all, if we look at an Excel spreadsheet, I have formatted at the moment all the dates with full stops, so that's how they've been typed. And I have put on a filter, so you will see the filter was put on by, on the Home tab, hitting the Sort and Filter button and then choosing Filter from the list. If we look at the actual dates at the moment with the dots and I click the down arrow, you can see here that the dots are in order of the 3s together, the 4s together, etc., and not necessarily date order. You'll also see the word text filters, so it actually thinks that those dates are text and it won't let me do very much on it. So I'm going to come out of here. I'm going to highlight the column that's got the dates on. Now you can do that by being anywhere in the column and do Control Spacebar, and then I'm going to find those dots, and to find them, if you do Control F on the keyboard, and it's going to say find what. I'm going to say find a full stop, and when you find it, replace it with a slash. So I'm going to full stop, replace it with a slash, and it's a forward slash that you need. I'm then going to say replace all. I've got that amount of changes, and I'm going to press OK, and I'm going to press close. It's very important that you highlight the column where you're going to do it, or columns, so that you don't take out the full stop on the value column. Okay, so I'm going to change those values to currency. So again, anywhere in the column, Control Spacebar, and you can come up here where it says General, and you can change that to currency on the drop down, which is probably the fastest way of doing it. If you want normal currency. If you use this button, it defaults to accountancy currency, which is a completely different format. So it's this one I like. I'm going to widen my column by double clicking between E and F. That's what the hash meant. It meant that the column wasn't wide enough. So I've got my data. Now I'd like to analyze this and give reports by date. I can click the down arrow here, and if you see now, I've clearly got all of the information grouped by month, by year, etc. And I can expand these and tick and untick what I'd like to see. Alternately, you've got what's called a date filter. So that changed from text filter, and I can now say, show me that everything that was done last quarter. And it will group that information together. You'll see down the bottom of the screen I've got 329 records that it actually found out of a possible 898. I'll click the down arrow again here. I'm just going to clear the filter. So by putting those slashes in, that now means I can do all sorts of filter tricks, go from a range of dates to a range of dates as well. I'm going to pivot this information, and to do that, anywhere under the headings, making sure each of these headings has a unique heading on it or title. You then go Insert, Pivot Table, and it's going to default to a new worksheet. This is the range. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to do OK. And that's created a pivot and a field list over the right hand side. Don't click outside of the pivot because the field list will disappear. If it does, simply click back on. So I'm going to group by, first of all, date. So I'm going to click on the date one, and all of the dates are going to go down the left hand side in the row, which I'm happy with. So I can rename that and call that date range and press enter. Don't have to leave it what it gave me. And then I'm going to tick value. So straight away you can see now I've got a report that's showing me by date and the value that I actually sold on that date. You can change the actual value of the date over here. So if you don't want it summed, you can click the down arrow and you can choose value field settings, and you could say, well, actually I wanted to average the dates, or I wanted to count them. And you can do the number formats here as well. So I could go in and say number format, and you can choose currency or whatever it might be. Press OK. OK again. So I've got it to analyze by date, by value. Okay, so now the important thing. You would probably want to group this in order of all your January together or your February together, etc. So to do that, you right click anywhere on that column of dates and you choose group. This grouping button should appear on the screen. If it doesn't, it means your dates are not formatted correctly. Look for dots, or look for the 31st of November, for instance, when it doesn't exist. So make sure they're valid dates. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to group by quarters and press OK. So there's all my quarters analysed. If I right click again and I go group, you can go quarters and months. You can pick more than one. You can see there's the report again, or you could simply right click group and just have months. And for this report, that's exactly what I would like to do. So there's my months grouped together in a pivot table. Fantastic. And I can then chart it over here in the pivot table options. Just give it a graphical display of data as well. So manipulating dates, first of all, make sure they're not dots, they're slashes, and then you can make it into a pivot table. I really hope that you've enjoyed that session. As I said, my name is Lisa Johnson. I work for SquareOne Training, so please do not hesitate to contact us should you have any requirements for training. Thank you.